नमस्कार, मैं रितिका और आप देख रहे हैं द वॉरियर स्पीक्स। आज हमारे साथ जनरल जीएस रावत फिर से हैं। पिछली बार हमने डिस्कस किया था कि कश्मीर में जब आर्टिकल 370 हटाया गया था और 35 अल्फ़ा का क्या रिलेवेंस था इंडिया के लिए। तो आज हम ऐसे ही एक ऐसे रीजन के बारे में बात करने जा रहे हैं जो कि इलीगली ऑक्यूपाई किया गया है पाकिस्तान के ज़रिए। तो सर, वेलकम टू द शो।
नमस्कार, जय हिंद। इट इज़ गुड टू बी बैक अगेन on the show Warrior Speaks.
सर, सबसे पहले मैं चाहूँगी कि आप हमारी ऑडियंस को ये बताएं कि गिलगित बाल्टिस्तान जो एरिया है कितना इम्पॉर्टेंट है इंडिया के लिए, कितना उसकी क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है इंडिया के लिए, और आज़ादी के बाद से क्या अंतर आया है इस एरिया में।
See, Ritika, it is very important. First, you must understand how Gilgit Baltistan went to Pakistan, where it is located, what it is strategical importance, and what kind of an important role it plays as far as the overall security of India is concerned. You know, the Baltistan used to be known as the Balvaristan, the Great Bolor, and people used to call it Dardistan also. It's a tough mountain, fully covered with the snow, and world second highest peak is housed by this region. And Balvaristan means the country of heights. And Balor is the crystal. If you really see, Balor means it's a crystal clear. And the cool beaches, absolutely chilled water beaches. So chilled water bodies. And Dardistan is a tough terrain, that's painful climbing those hills and all. So that's how the Balvaristan, the Great Balor and Dardistan was the nickname given to Baltistan and Gilgit. If you really see the importance जो गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान का है, हमारे लिए उसकी क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है और पाकिस्तान के लिए क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है, मैं अपनी इम्पोर्टेंस की बात करूंगा। मेरे को पाकिस्तान का कोई बात इतना खास इसमें कहूँगा, लेकिन जितना इम्पोर्टेंट हमारे लिए उससे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट उनके लिए भी है ये, क्यों वो उसका फ़ायदा उठाना चाहते हैं चाइना की मदद से। अगर आप देखें 1963 में पाकिस्तान ने तकरीबन 5100 किलोमीटर एरिया, स्क्वायर किलोमीटर एरिया, जो सक्षम इलाका था जो सियाचिन के ऊपर का कराकोरम रेंज में, वो चाइना को दे दिया। उससे क्या हुआ, चाइना को भी पाक ऑक्युपाइड कश्मीर में रोप इन कर लिया गया। और जैसे वो इलाका दिया गया चाइना को, चाइना ने जल्दी से उसमें कराकोरम हाईवे बना के सिंचियांग रीजन से उसको कनेक्ट कर दिया गया। अभी अगर आप देखें तो गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान कभी बात 15 साल पहले, 10 साल पहले कोई भी इसके बारे में बात नहीं करता था। सडनली आज एकदम से ये हर आदमी के रूबरू हो रहा है और बात कर रहा है कि भाई इसकी क्या अहमियत है, इसकी क्या इम्पोर्टेंस है। अगर आप देखें तो इंडिया में जितने भी डाउन द हिस्ट्री लेन इफ यू सी, जो भी अटैक्स हुए हैं, जितने भी रेडर्स आए हैं, सब नॉर्थ से आए हैं। सो गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान नोन एज द गेटवे ऑफ इंडिया। अगर आप इसकी लोकेशन देखें, नॉर्थ में तुर्कमेनिस्तान हो जाता है, ठीक है, इसके साउथ में पीओके आ जाता है, नॉर्थ ईस्ट में सिंचियांग रीजन चाइना आ जाता है, और साउथ में हमारा जम्मू कश्मीर और लेह लद्दाख आ जाता है, ठीक है। और सेंट्रल एशियन रिपब्लिक की जो कनेक्टिविटी इसके बाद जो इसकी बनती है, ठीक है, और अफगानिस्तान का जो इसका वाखान कॉरिडोर है, वो बिल्कुल नॉर्थ मोस्ट पॉइंट के साथ कनेक्ट करता है। तो अगर आप देखें तो गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान से आप सीधा एक्सेस मिलता है आपको अफगानिस्तान को, सेंट्रल एशियन रिपब्लिक को, चाइना को और पाकिस्तान को। सो फ्रॉम वन स्पॉट ऑफ अ कंट्री यू आर हैविंग 4 different connectivity to the 4 different countries. And strategically, it is so important, if you really look into this thing, that today, if Pakistan is being pressurized by China to formally make Gilgit Baltistan as a part of Pakistan, by which that cpec agreement which has been signed, cpec is China Pakistan Economic Corridor, जो कनेक्ट करता है सिंसियांग प्रोविंस को खुंजराब से लेकर के गिलगिट ग्वादर और कराची पोर्ट। और इसके साथ सिर्फ ये मोटरवेज नहीं है, जो सीपैक में है 3 इंपॉर्टेंट हाईवेज बन रहे हैं, उसमें है वेस्टर्न हाईवे, सेंट्रल हाईवे, ईस्टर्न हाईवे। तो जो ये इसकी जो अहमियत है, इसकी जो इम्पोर्टेंस है, वह है कि इसका स्ट्रेटेजिकल लोकेशन, जियो स्ट्रेटेजिक लोकेशन, जियो पॉलिटिकल इम्पोर्टेंस, जियो इकोनॉमिकल इम्पोर्टेंस। I have stated the geostrategic location, I have stated the geopolitical importance, now the geoeconomic importance. The Gilgit Baltistan is so beautiful. If tomorrow the ecotourism has to flourish, it is the area. It has a beautiful water bodies, beautiful glaciated lands, beautiful meadows, and it is a treat to see this part of the country. When Bellori word has been given, Bellori is an absolutely sparkling crystal. So it has rich in mineral resources, it has huge amount of gold and emerald, there's a rich in oil and gases. So that is as far as the economical potential of this region is concerned. And that's how the Pakistan and China are in a hurry to push their project through Gilgit Baltistan before India takes it back into its fold. But remember, it was part of India, it will be part of India, and it is part of India. It is very important to know the historic perspective of the Kashmir and correlate it with Gilgit Baltistan. If I talk of Gilgit Baltistan, there's no doubt that it was part of India and it will be part of India. You know, the people used to follow there, the born religion is the Tibetan Buddhism, and 2nd century they used to practice absolute Buddhism, and their written language was a Sanskrit. And it is very well established fact on record that 1719 till 1720, the Buddhism was prevailing there in Gilgit Baltistan. If you go and look at the buildings, the kind of infrastructure is there, will clearly indicate the similar structure what we have in Leh Ladakh and what used to be there in Tibet. You know, in 14th century, the Sufi Muslim preachers, they came from Persia and the Central Asia, and they moved to Gilgit Baltistan and they started propagating the Islamic preaching in those areas. That's how the Islam came. And subsequently, of course, part of the Gilgit Baltistan used to be ruled by some Muslim kings. And the longest Muslim king was Makmun Raja, the Ahmad Shah, ruled Baltistan between 1811 to 1840. That is the longest ruling as far as the Muslim king is concerned. But thereafter again, Zorawar Singh, who was the commander of Raja Gulab Singh of Jammu Kashmir, he conquered Gilgit and Baltistan and Skardu, complete area in 1840, and it came as a part of Jammu and Kashmir again. It was the Sikh rulers again who had captured the whole area. There's another school of thought, they say that it was purchased by the king of Jammu and Kashmir from the Maharaja Ranjit Singh by paying 72,000 rupees. Whether it was a purchase, but it was very much part and parcel of our country. And that's how the Gilgit was, subsequently, it was given on lease to Britishers. That was sometime in 1846. There was a reason behind it, because considering the erstwhile USSR was emerging as a big power. And if you really see, all invaders who came to India, they all came from the Central Asians through Gilgit Baltistan and trickle down to the rest of our country. So Britishers wanted to avoid that threat coming from the north area, as far as Russia is concerned. So this whole area was taken on lease from the king of J&K by the Britishers till the time we attained our independence, or two-nation theory was adopted, that Pakistan and India. At that time, it was there on lease with Britishers. Thereafter, at the time of partition and when independence was given to India and Pakistan got its own independence and two nations were they came into existence, there was a Major Brown who was made responsible to take care of Gilgit Baltistan, and he was given command of Gilgit Scouts. Now Gilgit Scouts was the regular troops of Maharaja of J&K who were guarding the complete area of Gilgit Baltistan. Very smartly, the Major William, along with his rebels at that point of a time of a Jammu Kashmir state forces, that Mirza Hassan Khan, by the name of operation they launched for the Datta Khel, and the mutiny was organized, and I would say anti the governor at that point of a time, and overthrowing the governor Ghansara Singh. And that's how the complete state was orchestrated by complete act was orchestrated by Major William Brown. And when he was able to throw the governor and able to take the reins of the Gilgit Baltistan under his control, and he managed it pretty well without any life losses to the minorities, took care of the complete treasury. At the same time, he messaged to Pakistan, yes, everything is under control, please come in and take control of this part of the country. And that's how in the month of November 1947, Pakistan took control of Gilgit Baltistan. This complete act was known to Lord Mountbatten, but he never shared it with India because his loyalties were not with India. His loyalties were with the Queen of UK. And they knew what act is being played. And for this act of mutiny, which was organized by the Major Brown, he was honored for that act. So that means it was very well thought plan, well in advance, before the independence was given to India and Pakistan, how things are going to unfold in a time to come. In addition to this, I would like to mention that what was the basic reason that Lord Mountbatten and the Britishers allowed this kind of an act and honoring Major Brown. The basic intent was not to antagonize the Muslim countries, the oil-rich Muslim countries. So that intention was to keep them also happy, because they didn't want to get deprived of a rich oil resources in the neighborhood. That was the basic reason. And point to add here, it was just matter of the 16 days that government setup, which was an administrative setup, which was installed by Major Brown, it couldn't survive more than 16 days.
तो सर, जैसे आपने बताया कि गिलगिट बाल्टिस्तान में फर्स्ट और सेकंड सेंचुरी में संस्कृत बोली जाती थी और बुद्धिज़्म प्रैक्टिस किया जाता था, और जब से इस्लाम ने इस एरिया को डोमिनेट करा है, इस रीजन में डोमिनेटेडली आया है, उसके बाद से इस रीजन में क्या क्या प्रोग्रेस रही है?
Ritika, it's a very good question you have asked. You see, the Buddhism was prevailing very much there, and the Sanskrit was very much a written language of Gilgit Baltistan. Even today you go and see that complete area, you can see the signatures of our Leh Ladakh region, similar to them, the living style of the people, the basic general culture of those people, and the complete township, the way they have been developed. Even those signatures are visible today. And history is evident the kind of a nature these people have, the way they have been socially acting and are performing, that clearly shows their alliance to Leh and Ladakh region. And throughout the history, this Gilgit Baltistan has been part of Leh and Ladakh. You see, Gilgit Baltistan was formed, basically the Gilgit Agency and the Baltistan district and Wazarat of Ladakh. Okay. So, what used to be called Ladakh Wazarat and a hill state of Hunjas and Naga. So, that whole culture which is prevailing today, even as on date, you won't feel it different from as it is prevailing in your Leh and Ladakh. Right? The intent of Pakistan has been always different. You see, at the time of independence, they played their cards. Very, I would say, दो शातिर दिमाग जो होता है हमेशा कुछ ऐसी खेल ढूंढता है. So it was played by, at that point of a time, how Gilgit Baltistan was made as a part of Pakistan. I've already explained the story of Mr. Brown. But as far as on date the progress is concerned, it's hardly any progress which has happened. If you compare what it was pre-independence and post-independence today, the area is almost same. It's such a beautiful countryside. Today, if it is there, you see, India considers Kashmir, the whole of a Kashmir, हमारा ताज है ये. हम ताज के बिना कैसे रह सकते हैं? So that country has been, the part of our country has been deprived of the basic human necessities and the basic rights. What to talk of a development? If you really look at the population, their population is basically the Shia 40%, Sunnis are 30%, and those Nur Bakshis are 6%, and Islamiyas are almost, I think, 20 to 24%. So, largely the population is of Shias. And intent of Pakistan has always been there to move maximum people from Pakistan and have the predominance of the Pak religion prevailing over the Gilgit Baltistan, and also finishing their culture and a heritage by which tomorrow they can easily claim over Gilgit Baltistan. So that is the situation. People are not at all happy. They don't even have a basic infrastructure for providing education to their children. There are no basic infrastructure for providing the basic necessity of a health and a hygiene. So what to talk of a development? So it's really in a very, very bad state.
Sir, ह्यूमन राइट्स को ही कनेक्ट करते हुए मैं आपसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछूंगी कि 1 नवंबर को हाल ही में गिलगिट बल्तिस्तान में रहने वाले लोगों ने बहुत ज़ोरों शोरों से अपना 74th इंडिपेंडेंस डे मनाया और पूरे सोशल मीडिया में उन्होंने काफ़ी ज़्यादा, इनफैक्ट पाकिस्तान के लोगों ने उनको काफ़ी ज़्यादा विशेज़ दी इंडिपेंडेंस के बारे में. तो एक तरफ तो वो लोग इंडिपेंडेंस के बारे में बोल रहे हैं और दूसरी ही तरफ उनके जो ह्यूमन राइट्स हैं, उनकी जो बेसिक नीड्स हैं, वो उनको प्रोवाइड नहीं कराई जा रही हैं. तो उस पर आप क्या बोलेंगे?
ऋतिका, मैंने पहले बोला कि शातिर दिमाग हमेशा कैसे गलत गेम खेलनी है और किस तरीके से लोगों को गलत राह पे चलाना है, वो पाकिस्तान का हमेशा एक फंडा रहा है. सो इसमें भी आप अगर देखिएगा कि जो हम आज़ादी की बात कर रहे हैं, व्हाट यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द 74th इंडिपेंडेंस डे, इंडिपेंडेंस व्हाट दे आर स्टेटिंग, nobody has made the statement from the Gilgit Baltistan, but statement has all been coming from the Pakistan. The independence from the Hindu ruler. So what is the design behind it? It's very, very evident. Nobody has given any relevance to this issue, but it's a very, very important, the game being played by the Pakistan. One side you are giving the independence, celebrating the independence of Gilgit Baltistan. Other side you are giving as a, making as a part of the country as a fifth province for last so many years. So they are not able to decide. Now they are state in a flux. So independence is just a show business, I would say. And what they have to do on ground, everybody knows it. So just by showing on the social media that independence being celebrated and honoring the great war heroes of Gilgit Baltistan, it's all showbiz which has been created by the Pakistan to show that yes, we care for Gilgit Baltistan and we have the concern for Gilgit Baltistan, and Gilgit Baltistan will be part of India, having attained independence from the Indian ruler. So that's what is flashing on the social media. So that point is there. You see, if they wanted that state to be prospering and really as a part of their state country, then things would have been totally different on ground. What I just narrated, the situation on ground is same what it was pre-independence with the minor changes here and there. So today Pakistan is in a real state of flux. And by making China as a third party into it, I would say the Pakistan created the further complexities for himself. It wanted to sort out India with the help of China, but I think it will fall into that same trap laid for India. Why I'm saying so, the cpec is onto one side. Now in the greed factor of the cpec, he thought that China will come for the collusivity and support Pakistan and go against India. That's how the land of a 5,100 odd square kilometer in the area of a Gilgit Baltistan, Karakoram race, Saksham has been given to China for build up of cpec and linking Xinjiang region to the Gwadar port. So that was the basic reason. Now today Pakistan is in a state of flux. Its economy is in a very bad state. To move out of that, he wants China's support. China wants that the Gilgit Baltistan should be a clear state given to us to move our project smoothly without any problem. So to do so, they are doing their best. How this area can be, the voices of the people of the Gilgit Baltistan can be suppressed. The kind of a human rights which are happening there. It's a continuously the people are facing torture, sedition, terrorism, not only by the Pakis, it's purported by the Chinese also. The settlement which is coming in the bordering area of Gilgit Baltistan and the central region, it is from both China and Pakistan to change the overall demography of that complete region.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है कि हमें पता है कि चाइना अभी तक क्या करता है, जैसे श्रीलंका को उसने डेट्स दिए और उसके बाद उसने उसको एक्सप्लॉइट करा, वैसे ही पाकिस्तान को एक्सप्लॉइट करके क्या चाइना इंडिया को एम करना चाह रहा है?
See, Ritika, one must understand what is the China policy. See, China, from the day one, India got independence. 1950, if you see, cut off the trade through Xinjiang region, 1,000 years old trade route through the Central Asian countries. 63, in 50s, later 50s, that he captured Tibet and the whole flux of the refugees moved, including the Dalai Lama. They came from Tibet to India, and the complete trade with the Tibet was blocked, which was on for 700 odd years. Thereafter, if you really see, so I'm counting 50s, and take 62, when the area of so-called POK, which is very much part of India and Gilgit Baltistan, the Saksham region, which was handed over by Pakistan to China, the almost 5,100 square kilometer area. That was to build up the highway through the Karakoram and the cpec, that is the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, right, which is the major issue of concern. Why Gilgit Baltistan has come into news? The very first question of yours. Why it is in news for last 10 years? This is because of the cpec agreement between China and Pakistan, which has allowed China to make a highway through POK Gilgit Baltistan, POK, and linking up the Karachi and Gwadar port. Right? And this is going to not only the highway, along with the highway, it is going to have number of special economic zones. It is going to improve the complete communication setup, the complete IT setup. In addition to this, they're going to have the state-of-the-art railways. And they're not one highway, there are 3 parallel highways coming up. That is the Western, Central, and Eastern. That way, the basic intent of China is to surround India. That's why he went to first Sri Lanka. And his total dependency on energy, which is today, is only through Malacca Strait. If India blocks that Malacca Strait, then complete supply of the power and his economy can be choked and China can be absolutely starved. So to have the second alternative option moving flawlessly without any interruption, the cpec is the best option he has adopted. It is going to be the fastest and most economical way of movement of his complete energy sources and his trade through Pakistan to Karachi and Gwadar, linking up to the West Asia and then extending up to Europe. So look at the way when he has to come and move, all the way he has to come down to South China, south through South China Sea to Indian Ocean, cross over and then proceed ahead. So bottleneck there was the Malacca Strait, which can be easily choked if tomorrow India desires so. But it is a matter of a time, how things unfold. But China, being a smart country, looking ahead, he's thought tomorrow world is against China. World is against China because he feels that everybody wants to hamper the Chinese growth. So China need to survive and prevail in the years to come. He has to have a strong alternate option. That alternate option, what he has adopted and thought of, is through Pakistan by making this China-Pakistan economic corridor, which will facilitate the development of the total commercialized port in Gwadar and Karachi. Also have the state-of-art, those 3 highways, Western, Central and Eastern, along with 9 specialized economic zones, linking up to Khunjerab. So Khunjerab to Gwadar and Khunjerab to Karachi, which gives the direct connectivity to Xinjiang province of China. So this is the importance of this cpec, and this how the Gilgit Baltistan is so strategically important to India, and only point from where India can peep into it is the small spot where we holding our under control is the Siachen. Imagine if Gilgit Baltistan would have been there as a part of India today, we wouldn't have been spending crores of rupees on a daily basis to hold Siachen. We could have done at a much cheaper cost by occupying the other areas in Gilgit Baltistan. You look at the cost what India paid in last 15 to 20 years to support the development of complete infrastructure in Afghanistan, where we moved through rail, through road, to sea, to Chabahar port. We developed Chabahar port, then we developed from Chabahar to the rail link to Afghanistan, and then moved all resources from India to Afghanistan. If Gilgit Baltistan would have been part of India, it would have been a direct access to Afghanistan.
You were telling us about the cpec agreement. So China और पाकिस्तान का जो ये cpec agreement है, उससे इंडिया के ऊपर ओवरऑल इम्पैक्ट क्या होगा और कैसे ये डायरेक्टली और इनडायरेक्टली इंडिया की पोजीशन को इम्पैक्ट करेगा?
See, it's very, very evident and clear the cpec is to facilitate the China trade, right? And India intent would always be there that cpec doesn't get through.
तो सर इंडिया क्या
The threat of Malacca Strait should always be there as a part and a parcel of India's strategy. And moment India should not be allowing the cpec passing through Gilgit Baltistan. It is not the part of Pakistan. Okay, it is very much part of India. Even that that 5,100 odd square kilometer area which has been given on the Karakoram Ridge to China, it's also illegal. It is part of POK. So everything is illegal, and as a nation, we should not be supporting the cpec construction through POK, Gilgit Baltistan area, going down to Gwadar.
सर मेरा आपसे यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन है कि पाकिस्तान हमेशा से गिलगित बल्तिस्तान से इतना डेस्परेट रहा है कि उसको अपना 5th प्रोविंस बनाने की कोशिश कर रहा है, प्लानिंग भी करता आ रहा है, और उसकी क्या स्ट्रैटेजीज है, खासकर जब से इंडिया ने जम्मू एंड कश्मीर से आर्टिकल 370 हटाया है.
See, it is, I have told strategically, it is very important for India. Gilgit Baltistan can never be separated from India. It has to be part of India. Historically, I've already mentioned, if you see the complete, all aggressions have taken from Gilgit and Baltistan. Why it is important? Because it is giving you direct access to your Central Asian Republic region. And tomorrow, if a gas line, what you had planned from Turkmenistan via coming to Afghanistan and Pakistan and then to India, if Gilgit Baltistan would have been there with us today, we wouldn't have required any support from Afghanistan and Pakistan. It should have come straight from Turkmenistan to Tajikistan and Tajikistan to India. I've already narrated the issue, what a circuitous route we have taken to provide infrastructural support to Afghanistan before the Taliban government was established, and spent crores and crores of rupees. If Gilgit Baltistan would have been there with us, would have had a direct access to Afghanistan. Third is what we are planning from Iran and Pakistan and coming to India as a gas pipeline. We shouldn't have gone by Afghanistan, Iran or Pakistan. Afghanistan and Pakistan. It should have come straight from the Central Asian Republic to us. So that is the kind of a difference it is going to make. Tomorrow, if you want to make your complete access to Central Asian republics, going to the West Asia, further extending to Europe, you can have a state-of-the-art highway going from here and see the economically how you're going to flourish, strategically how you're going to be looking into. Today, the way you're spending your crores and crores of rupees and losing so many lives in Siachen, you can sit much lower height and protect your complete north, northwestern and northeastern flank of our country. And which is most critical, we have the China onto one side and a Pakistan onto other side. And if the collectivity happens, that together they come, that much important comes for India from the strategic point of view, security point of view, to have a strong, good foothold in the northern and northernmost areas, that including your complete Jammu, Kashmir and Gilgit Baltistan.
Right, sir. Sir,
it is like a gateway to India. Now, if it is a gateway to India, you need to secure your gateways from all the from both the flanks, and also need to have a strong gateway to make sure that nobody is able to break through that gate.
सर यहाँ पे मैं एक क्वेश्चन ऐड करना चाहूँगी कि इंडिया को क्या मेजर्स लेने चाहिए जब जो गिलगित बल्तिस्तान रीजन है, ताकि वो एक्सप्लॉइट ना हो पाकिस्तान और चाइना की डिप्लोमेसी से.
See, Ritika, there's a tacit understanding between China and Pakistan which is going on, and they are there at their best to make sure that cpec is completed at the earliest. And Pakistan not realizing what kind of a game is being played by China and how it is going to unfold. But seeing the development which is going to happen, he considered and assumed that Pakistan will be hub of the business activities, which would be facilitating the complete business of China, moving to the Central Asia, West Asia, and to the Europe, and vice versa. So Pakistan will be in a win-win situation. If that be the case, it's win-win situation for China, it's win-win situation for Pak, moment cpec is completed. But India will be the big loser as far as the security of India is concerned. And at no way India can think of losing control over Gilgit Baltistan. India cannot be thinking of compromising on its geostrategic, geopolitical and geoeconomical status of Gilgit Baltistan. And under all circumstances, it will remain and must form part of India. At no stage we can give and allow Pakistan to take complete control of the Gilgit Baltistan. To do that, we need to take the different approaches. One is of course, the legal right over the area. Second card, what we need to play up is the total deforestation and the loss of biodiversity and an ecosystem. Generation of huge solid waste in such a peaceful environment and untouched, beautiful locations, which will be spoiled and ruined the way the infrastructure is being developed. Damage to the cultural heritage. These are the issues which needs to be raised at the World Forum. The huge noise pollution will disturb the flora and fauna of the country. And most important, that Gilgit Baltistan being part of us, China has got no right, and so is the Pakistan, to take its cpec through Gilgit Baltistan. These are the points I think we should keep pressing in the World Forum and make sure that China is not able to make this alternate ways of its energy resources and a business through Gilgit Baltistan and Pakistan to the rest of the world.
सर नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन ये है कि रशिया ने अभी हाल ही में जो ऑफिशियल मीटिंग हुई थी एससीओ की, उसमें जो पीओके है उसको इंडिया में ही पार्ट दिखाया, इंडिया का ही एक जो मैप है उसी में पार्ट दिखाया, तो इंक्लूडिंग गिलगित बल्तिस्तान. तो इस पे आपका क्या कहना है?
Compliment our external affairs teams. They have been able to convince Russia, and so is the World Forum, to support India for the cause of Gilgit Baltistan and the rest of the POK. Okay, so I think compliments to our Honorable Prime Minister and the External Affairs Ministry, which is doing a commendable job, and of course the Foreign Minister, who is extremely excelling in his job as a Foreign Minister. So, and dividend we are seeing, in the days to come, things will be much better off.
सर सिक्योरिटी इज़ अ ह्यूज चैलेंज टुडे. सारे जो मीडिया चैनल्स हैं, लोग हैं, वो ये बात करते हैं कि नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के लिए क्या क्या स्ट्रैटेजीज़ हैं, तो इसमें आपके क्या व्यूज़ हैं?
Ritika, see, these are my views, okay, as far as the national security is concerned. And being a citizen of a country and being a soldier, what I feel, all of us have a role to play as far as the national security is concerned. When we talk of a strategy, strategies are not discussed on any media channel or any open forum. Policies you can talk. Yes, as a nationalist, I feel strong enough that yes, this point should be forming as a part of my national strategy and all those things. Okay, there are a lot of intelligentsia sitting in the South Bloc and the North Bloc. I think they काफ़ी हमारे बुद्धिजीव हैं जो वहाँ पे इस फील्ड में काम कर रहे हैं एंड किसी भी वक्त कोई भी देश ऐसा नहीं हो सकता कि जो अपनी नेशनल स्ट्रेटजी ऑन सिक्योरिटी टू कम एंड डिस्कस इन द ओपन फोरम. Yes, policies we can discuss. But what I feel as a soldier and a nationalist, there are 4 strong pillars of any national security. You see, the good economy, strong political system, strong, well-trained, well-equipped armed forces and the security forces. These are the 3 strong pillars. But the strongest of strong pillars, there's a 4th one which I'm going to tell, which really I feel shocked that no one has been talking on that front, is the social and the environmental around you. See, the moral fiber and the social fabric and the environmental equation created around you. The stronger the environment around you, stronger is the social fiber with you, the better the security in and around you. The moment the security in and around is better, the national also gets taken care. If I really ask anybody on this earth or of a country, if the Kashmir issue has come up, it has not come up without the notice of the people. If Punjab situation came worse, and we went through the burning of a Punjab, it was not that the people were not aware of it. If the Delhi blast has happened, series of blasts have happened in Mumbai, that doesn't mean that people were not aware of it. There's so many riots, so many incidents happening now and then. And then we blame government, we blame police, we never blame ourselves. You just think and give a cool thought. If the social fabric and the moral fabric of those people would have been the strongest, and the environment which would have been created by the peoples around there, you think anybody would have managed to break that social fabric or your moral fiber? Because it was weak, they exploited it.
So, sir, it is very important for people to be aware what is happening in there.
It is awareness and is the connectivity. I said environment around you. How do you create environment? The bonding I create with you, bonding I create with the other neighborhood and everybody in and around. And there we become accountable, okay, any unusual thing happening, any new element coming in, that must be reported to the concerned people. You know, other myth hai ki you go to the police station, nobody bothers. But tomorrow the whole society goes and reports, I think police will listen to it. So creating a strong social bonding and a good environment around you and becoming the accountable for creating that environment peaceful leads to the absolute security of the country.
सर मैं यहाँ पे एक क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहूँगी कि यहाँ पे इतने तरह तरह के आइडियोलॉजी वाले लोग हैं, उनमें हम कैसे उनको प्रभावित करेंगे कि आपको सोशली एक साथ खड़ा होना और इस पर्टिकुलर विजन के साथ हमें सोचना है एक.
That's what is called the nationalism. That is called your national, total, your moral fabric, you are committed to your country. Country is not by कि कौन किस religion का, कौन किस caste का, कौन कहाँ से आया. For country, you are the normal citizen of a country. Where our code of conduct has gone, where our moral values have gone, where are we teaching our children? I'll tell you in 71 war, I was a kiddo of 8th standard, 7th standard, 8th standard. Sorry, 71 I was a kiddo of 5th standard. Right? And 5th or 6th mein kya tha? Let me just check. 5th standard. And I remember it very well. There used to be blackout declared. All blanket used to be covering the complete windows and everything. And within the room we have made a small cubicle covered with the blanket. And उसके अंदर चिमनी जलती थी और उसमें हम पढ़ते थे. And my father, along with the whole society, they used to be on the duty all around the society. But a lot of spies from Pakistan, Ludhiana being closer to the border area, used to come from there. So every society was protecting by, there was no adequate police was not there to take care of you. So each society made their own protection system. In 70s, if we could create that kind of a bonhomie, it can be done even today. It's a matter of every citizen, don't look up to only the Prime Minister and the country, but somewhere as a citizen also we are accountable and responsible. We need to shake up ourselves and really see whether we get brought up our children in that manner, giving them those moral values and the system, creating that kind of a strong social fabric within the family, outside the family. Now social fabric cannot be created by our Honorable Prime Minister or the government. It is the society which has to create. If Punjab or Kashmir would have allowed these militants to move in 80s, the militancy would have been there. Somebody allowed them, somebody sheltered them, somebody protected them. So what was exploited? Your environment. It was a weak environment. What has happened in the Northeast? The militancy. Because of the weak environment. The moment we have a strong environment, I don't think so anybody can exploit us. That's why I say the strongest pillar for the national security is the social and your environment around it.
सर जैसा कि आपने बताया कि आपने अपने पेरेंट्स को देखा, आपने सोसाइटी को देखा, और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि उस टाइम के जो लोग हैं वो सेल्फ मोटिवेटेड रहते थे और खुद ही जो ये पेट्रियाटिज्म की फीलिंग है, नेशनलिज्म है, लोगों पे नेचुरली था. लेकिन आज की डेट में मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जो नेशनलिज्म की फीलिंग है वो बहुत ज़्यादा मिसिंग है, बहुत ज़्यादा लैक कर रही है लोगों में. तो उसी तरीके से इस पीढ़ी को आप क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे और कैसे आप प्रेरित करेंगे कि उनके अंदर नेशनलिज्म की भाव आए?
Ritika, now I think I need to get back to the kindergarten here. You see, what I said as a citizen, when I'm talking as a citizen, as a parent, what my responsibility is. You see, before, if you remember my first talk, I made a mention of दादा की कहानी, दादी की कहानी. शौर्य गाथा जब सुनाई जाएंगी घर में, तो हर घर में एक शौर्य पैदा होगा. अगर as a child, if you are not able to groom him with his moral values and able to guide and groom him to create a good social environment around him, I think somewhere we are failing. It's very, very difficult to convince you as a youth, I understand, because the situation, what you are seeing around you, you feel it is next to impossible, right? But start the game, start the beginning. Somewhere someone has to start the set ball rolling. Once the ball starts set rolling, I think things will change. Always have a positive thoughts. So we need to create, you as a young people, you should be thinking. But today it is an individualistic approach. It is not the group approach anywhere. It's the sharing power which is lost in the society. It is me, myself. कह रहा पड़ोस में आग लग रही, मेरे घर में जब तक सेक नहीं पहुंचा, मेरे को क्या फर्क पड़ता है? That is the outlook and attitude with what we are living today. But as a nation, if you want a strong nation, I'll tell you a simple example, like I salute Switzerland. I'll say कि सर इंडिया से आप स्विट्जरलैंड पहुंच गए. See, हमारे कंट्री में हर चीज़ का ओपन मार्केट है, हर कोई ब्रांड है, हर चीज़ है. ठीक है, we have the American brand, we have the French brand, we have the Italian brands, all brands are floating around in our country. But you go to Switzerland, you will not find any international brand there. That's how their country is richest in the world today. They only believe in their own brand, own product, and they feel pride in wearing that, marketing that. And that's how the small nation doing wonders in the world. So they also created that. We can also create. तो वो तो घर से शुरुआत होनी ना, स्कूल से शुरुआत होनी है. You cannot be giving a mid-course action somewhere in between. So our education system, which was so good, needs to be looked into. The corrective measures have been taken, but we need to be looking into that. So it has to be forming part of our education. No school talks about your honor code of conduct. He said, no, my prestige and the image of my institution should not get spoiled. Rest whatever you do. He is not bothered what honor code you should be following, what moral fabric you should be having. But everybody is concerned me, myself. So me, myself, we have to come to we ourselves. Then only we can build up this, get these changes. Otherwise, next to impossible.
Thank you so much, sir. So it was a very amazing interactive session, and we will be back soon again with General GS Rawat on our next episode of Warrior Speaks, जिसमें हम बात करेंगे अपनी नेशनल सिक्योरिटी के बारे में और कैसे वो इनडायरेक्टली और डायरेक्टली इफेक्ट होती है. सो जय हिंद, जय भारत, थैंक यू.